Hey guys, this is Really01.
And welcome to part 11 of What If Deku Had Lelouch's Powers. Sorry about the late introduction. Been busy with school, work, and then the new wave of COVID hit again. So things are about to be a little bit stressful. So, okay, let's continue. So last time, Deku and the rest of the heroes just finished the raid on the villains, and they managed to capture All for One. And All Might didn't die, or he didn't get revealed that his Small Might form was a thing. Only to like the few heroes like Hawks, Mirko, and Endeavor that were there. Okay, so let's link back to what happened. Deku wakes up in the morning, but right next to him are Uraka and May. He just got up, brought them breakfast, and then everyone noticed that May and Uraka came out of Deku's room, but they didn't say anything. Only Mina would be like bubbling around saying stuff about it. Okay, so after everyone was ready, they headed to class. May kissed Deku goodbye before heading back to the support chorus. Aizawa came into class and everyone quieted down immediately. Good morning, class. With everything that's been going on in school, it feels like we need to step up your education. Some of the students were afraid of what Aizawa meant, but the others were eager. We are having your provisional license exam. Normally, first years would not be able to, but the Heroes Association feels that you deserve the opportunity. Everyone was excited getting to hear that they're getting their provisional licenses. This is a big step for them to become heroes. And then, before we continue, Midoriya, the Hero Association has told us that you can receive your hero license without needing to take the exam. All the classmates screamed with the unified "What?" And then, Sensei, how come Midoriya doesn't have to take a license? Well, yeah, it's not fair. To the rest of us. There's no way that nerd deserves it. Isn't it obvious that Midoriya is more skilled than all of us? He was in the fight with the League of Villains and performed very well, even capturing the villain that All for One that All Might couldn't fight. Not to mention saving Bakugo and All Might. This is what Todoroki would say. And then Momo. He's right. Midoriya has shown that he's been the best of us. His power, his leadership kept us out of dangerous situations. Kirishima felt a little guilty, and Bakugo was boiling with rage because they were telling him the truth that he had to be rescued by Midoriya. And then Kirishima felt guilty because he wanted to go by himself without a plan. Yes, that's correct. Deku, those are some reasons that he's been given the opportunity, but the choice is up to him. Deku stood up. I'll take the exam like everyone else. I want to prove that I deserve it. I should have guessed you would have made that choice. Well, then let's continue. After class, everyone asked Deku why he turned the offer down, and he said that I don't want things to be handed down to me. I want to earn it. That was a bad choice, Midoriya. If it was me, I would have taken it. That's what Denki said. That would never happen, especially how you act, Jiro said bluntly. Mineta and Denki put their heads down in depression. In depressed tone. Everyone just laughed at the two's expense. Kirishima came up to Izuku. Midoriya, I'm sorry. And then he bowed his head. Why are you apologizing? Remember when you told me to be patient and let the heroes handle it? You were right. Kirishima explained the events that happened after Deku left for the battle. Kirishima was begging and pleading Momo to help him, but she refused and told the promise she made with Midoriya. Then they saw what happened on TV and realized that Deku was right. If they went there, they could have gotten hurt or worse, killed. Deku accepted Kirishima's apology and then they shook hands. The students went on to the next class and worked work on their finishing moves. Deku came up with a move called 0 of 40. Basically, he would create a dome around himself with Black Whip, and then the targets would not escape. He uses his Gyos to capture them. Deku practiced this move several times with the help of ectoplasm, but unfortunately something happened. Deku's other eye began to hurt. He knew this playing all too well. His eye changed, and they're both now unable to turn off the Gyos. Deku avoided eye contact with them and put goggles that Mei made for him and didn't take him off for the rest of class. Everyone noticed that Deku was a little depressed. Some knew that what this meant for him. He could no longer look his loved ones in the eye. After he went to the support course, he was about to walk in when he heard Uraka call for him. She kept their distance because Deku wanted to be alone until he saw if there was a way to fix this. Suddenly, the door exploded, and in the aftermath, Mei was lying on top of Deku. Hey, Zuko, what are you doing here? Is it time for our date? They got up, and Deku explained what happened to him. That's bad, but maybe this will work. She brought up a small box to Deku. Inside were contact lenses, which confused him. Put them on. They should work. Deku did as she asked, and he put them on. Deku was afraid they wouldn't work, so he didn't open his eyes. Mei grabbed Deku's head and made him look at her straight in the eyes. He was afraid that she would be hypnotized, but nothing happened. See, I told you they would work, she said confidently, and then she kissed Deku. Uraka was happy, but she was jealous that the two were kissing, but had tears falling down her eyes. Lord cleared his throat, causing Deku and Mei to break away from the kiss. Mei explained how the contacts work, like his solid eye, but he no longer needed to use the goggles or the eye patch. Deku said he'll keep using the goggles and use the contacts only when he's not doing anything hero-related. This made Mei feel happy, and Deku left back to the dorms with Uraka and Mei. Everyone was in the common area, surprised to see Midoriya without his goggles. Mei explained how the contacts worked, and they all wanted a pair. The class kept their training up for the license exam. Almost, I think, a week passed, and then Deku asked the class to conduct team battles so they could practice teamwork together. This kept up until the day of the license exam. All the class grew considerably much more stronger than in the anime, and their teamwork was greater with the addition of everyone having pair made contacts made their teamwork even better. The class, now skipping to the day of the license exam, the class got off the bus and made their way to the stadium. It reminded them much of the sports festival. Deku was already informed everyone that else was participating knew their quirks, since they broadcasting everything on the sports festival. This worried them some, but they were all confident they could get through it if they all worked together. Class 1A met with Ketsubutsu High School and the Shiketsu students. And the interaction was similar with minor differences. Deku and the others did not shake hands with Yoshindo. Inasa still had a grudge with Todoroki, but saw that he was different. He was smiling and getting along with people, nothing like Endeavor. The first part of the exam started as expected. All schools were aiming to take out UA. All the examinees threw the balls at Class 1A, but Deku made a dome with Black Whip, shielding everyone. The examinees stopped after they saw that it was pointless and none of their attacks were going through. Then Deku used his Gyos Radius that he could do previously and hypnotize everyone around him in his power. Then Class 1A got their eliminations and then went to the break room waiting for the next part of the exam. Aizawa and Miss Joke were shocked of what happened. Miss Joke asked Aizawa if he knew Deku could do that. I had no idea Midoriya could do that, but he never ceases to amaze me. Maybe it's fitting he calls himself Zero, the limitless hero. In the break room, everyone was praising Deku. Only person who didn't was Bakugo. You guys rely too much on that damn nerd. Everyone thought that of what Bakugo said, and they realized he was slightly correct. They do rely on Deku a lot. That's enough, Bakugo. In that situation, even if I didn't step in, I knew you guys would have passed. This cheered everyone up. Deku had confidence in his classmates. Even if he wasn't there, they would have done well without him. Ketsubutsu and Shiketsu students came up to the UA students. They were impressed that Deku was really strong, but they didn't want to lose to UA. Some of the girls from the other schools asked Deku if he was single, but Uraraka stepped up and was holding hands and wrapping her arm around Deku. With the dark red aura surrounding her, and everyone felt chills. Then they came to the second part of the exam, the rescue part. This went a little better than in the anime. With the help of Mei's contacts, everyone knew where each other's locations and maintained in communication with earpieces that Momo made. When it came for Gang Orca to attack, Deku got in there and just used his Gyas to hold them there, but it's taking lots of his concentration. But the time Deku provided made sure that all civilians were saved, and the time ended and the time elapsed and the exam was over. Everyone got their licenses and headed back to UA. Deku sent to pick the C2 and she congratulated him. Once they arrived at UA, Mei was waiting for him and she came up to Deku and Uraraka and hugged them and congratulated him. Later that night, Bakugo asked Deku to meet him outside. It's time we settled who's the strongest. Are you serious? I thought we settled this already. No, we didn't. I was going to beat All Might, then you kept getting in my way. Is this guy delusional? Oh my god. Deku thought in his mind. I'm not doing this. I don't have to prove anything. Deku was walking away. Bakugo was boiling with rage that Deku wasn't going to fight him. He couldn't prove he was stronger than Deku, so he just sent the strongest explosion he could towards Deku. Deku sensed it and brought up his shield made by Black Whip. Then Deku just took off one of his contacts and commanded Bakugo to stay still until he realized that he isn't the strongest. Then he left to the dorms. Bakugo stood there for a few hours. Aizawa was watching the whole thing. He thought that this would be done after a few minutes, but it looked like Bakugo was not stepping out of it, and he picked up Bakugo and placed him in his room. Later in the morning, he asked Deku to remove the command. Deku thought Bakugo would have snapped out of it, but apparently not. Okay, guys, this is where I'm going to end it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.